My name is Desirae Gomez. Today's date is November 8th, 2020. This is my presentation for Business Law 1, Individual Professional Presentation. I will be discussing workplace drug testing and the ethics behind that. Drug testing has become increasingly common as a means to maximize corporate profitability and to minimize the economic impact of employee substance abuse. Drug testing is becoming more accepted for controlling the effects of substance abuse in the workplace. Since drug abuse has been correlated with a decline in corporate profitability and an increase in the occurrence of work-related accidents, employers are justifying drug testing on both legal and ethical grounds. So what are the reasons that employers perform drug screens? The reasons are many. Employers will perform a pre-placement assessment as a condition of being hired in a drug-free workplace, and these employers have the right to a drug-free workplace. They will also use it for job transfer evaluation. This is similar to pre-placement testing, but it also tests current employees to make sure that they are deserving of their promotion. They will also use periodic mandatory medical surveillance, post-incident and accident. So this is for employees who are involved in a workplace accident or unsafe practices, and it can help employers determine whether alcohol or other drugs were a contributing factor to the incident. Reasonable suspicion or cause. Employees who show discernible signs of being unfit for duty or who have documented pattern of unsafe work behavior will be drug tested under reasonable suspicion. This protects the safety and well-being of the employee and their coworkers. And random drug testing for those who have security-sensitive positions. Special work fitness examinations are used by employers to be sure that their employee is physically able to perform their job duties. This is used most commonly in the military or in highly physically demanding jobs. Prior notification is required as to not violate the employee's constitutional rights. Monitoring of employees who are under treatment for drug abuse, including alcohol, as a condition of continuing employment. Many employers offer employee assistance programs, also known as EAPs. These programs are designed to assist employees in resolving personal problems that may be adversely affecting their performance at work, such as substance or alcohol abuse. This encourages employees to remain drug-free after returning from a rehabilitation program. And lastly, pre-access prior to employees entering certain facilities. So high security level clearance that would be negatively affected by someone under the influence is a huge reason that employers decide to drug test their employees. They believe that use of an illegal drug indicates a willingness or inability to abide by the law. And cleared employees must respect the regulations whether they agree with them or not. Users of illegal drugs may be more susceptible to blackmail, especially if exposure of drugs could cause them to lose their jobs. And finally, the more dangerous the drug, the more the drug uses indicates the propensity for irresponsible or high-risk behavior. So these employees tend to go against a security level clearance. Drug testing is very costly. 56% of U.S. employers use pre-employment drug tests or randomly drug test their employees. These companies pay approximately $3.7 billion annually in pre-employment drug testing costs. Despite these high costs of drug testing, employers continue to drug test these employees. Why? Drug and alcohol abuse costs employers nearly $100 billion in lost productivity each year. Employees who use drugs have double the rate of absenteeism, higher job turnover rates, and cost 3 times as much in terms of medical benefits as those who don't use drugs. Given the commonality of drug screening from employers, many will question whether these drug screens are accurate. Employers often opt for urine screens, saliva screens, or hair screens, but positive results do not necessarily indicate impairment at work. Drug screens only indicate drug usage in the recent past and do not indicate current impairment. The drug screen will not indicate the time during which a drug was taken or necessarily the amount taken. It will only determine if the drug is in the employee's body at the time of the test. Drug screens are used to test for illicit drugs. However, many false positives can be attributed to prescription drug use. The most common drugs that are screened for include THC, opiates, PCP, amphetamines, cocaine, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, methadone, LSD, steroids, ecstasy, and opioids. When considering drug use, many employers are concerned with illicit drug use. Studies have shown that many prescription medications can cause a false positive that may incorrectly label a user of prescription medication as an illicit drug user. Effexor is a common antidepressant, and recent studies have shown that if the amount of Effexor is above 62.5 micrograms per milliliter, the test will come out positive for PCP. This is within the dosage range of this medication. The following is a list of other prescription medications that can cause false positives on a drug screen. I will not read the entire list, but please pause for just a moment to read. Since it has been proven that prescription medications can create false positives on drug screens, pre-employment and random drug testing make it difficult for employers to find and keep qualified employees. Many applicants are discouraged from applying or fail the drug screen, and the overall goal of continued drug testing is to ensure a safe workplace. However, drug testing does not guarantee a safe work environment, nor does it guarantee that an employee is qualified to perform their job. As seen in the previous slides, many common prescription medications can falsely label a candidate as an illicit drug user. Many candidates subjected to drug screening also wonder about the validity of drug screens and whether it violates their rights to privacy. Employees often wonder if drug testing is a violation of their privacy. If an employee smokes marijuana on vacation, they could potentially test positive a month later without being under the influence. Some employees show false positives due to being prescribed medication. Do their employers have a right to this information? Well, what does the law say? Technically, the U.S. Constitution does not explicitly grant a right to privacy, but the Bill of Rights implies a right to privacy. And what about the employer's rights to drug testing? There are no federal laws that clearly authorize drug testing of employees, and many state laws limit the circumstances under which an employee may test and the types of tests an employer may conduct. Drug testing laws are changing, and because there is so much variance from state to state, an employer should consult with a lawyer before proceeding. If an employer has a strong, legitimate reason for performing a drug screen, they will not be at risk for legal action. Employers should take into consideration the potential for false positives and have a protocol that allows for retesting or confirmatory testing that does not violate the employee's right to privacy. As stated previously, state drug and alcohol testing laws vary greatly from state to state. In New Mexico, we do not have a specific law regarding drug testing related to employment, but here are some examples from another state. As evidenced by this and the previous slide, even though there are varying differences between the states, these laws are made to protect both the employers and the employees. In conclusion, employers and employees have rights in regards to drug screening. An employer and its patrons have the right to work and conduct business in a drug-free workplace. Drug screening allows employers to ensure the safety of its employees and patrons. However, they must be sure that they are following ethically and morally appropriate protocols. Employers should consult a lawyer prior to creating a drug screening protocol for their company. This will ensure protection for both the company and the employees. Employees should be sure to research their individual state laws before complying with any drug screen. If there is any question to the validity of the test, an employee should seek legal counsel.